Alright, welcome back everyone, Zaf here to a Battlefield Time video where the hackers don't get banned, but the innocent players do get banned. Yes, that's right. As you can see here, there is a hacker on my server. Go figure. No idea why they're hacking. It's so obvious, and you're pretty dumb for hacking on a content creator server. You're gonna get blasted everywhere, and eventually you will get banned. A 15-second time running Choi, Silvermane, and Libora, and Moonshadow, which has an extremely long casting time. Unless this guy has some super secret strats, yeah, they're obviously hackers, so Netmarble, do your job. Don't ban the innocent players, please ban the hackers. But you're probably wondering whether or not it's safe right now to play Battlefield Time. I would say it's probably okay. Regardless of what you do, you're still bound to get banned in any single game mode, until the devs do put out a notice saying, hey, we fixed our detection, odds are you still have a chance, so just play Battlefield Time, or wait a few more days, see if any adjustments are made. I played Battlefield Time for at least an hour or two, and I didn't get a ban coming my way, so it should be okay for the majority of you, but some of you will be unlucky and get banned. It's just how it works in this game right now. Very unfortunate, where the innocent players are getting banned, but hackers like this guy here, Ghost, he's probably just scary to look at, so darn ugly that he has a hack in the game. Very surprising that they're not banned, and I'll show you their profile. You'll see just how funny their account is. But just before we begin, what was that? That's some weird pop-up. But don't forget to support us on Netmarble's free supporter program. The link is down below. You get codes from supporting, and I send it directly to your My Page section up top right here. So once you support, just wait a day, then go to your My Page section, scroll down all the way to receive benefits. This is where your codes will go, so thank you for supporting. It means a lot, it helps the channel grow, and you get free codes from doing so. And lastly, a huge congrats to Salito from the first comment to our last video. Here is your shout to enjoy that juicy Discord roll. So let's go ahead and show you the build I ran, the artifacts, every single thing, and the alternatives you can potentially use, but let me show you this hacker's profile. It's actually very funny. Now, call me crazy, but yeah, this score right here doesn't seem too legit. I mean, their score is, what, is that a trillion? Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think anyone has those strats to make such a difference in POD compared to everyone else on the server. So Netmarble, I don't know what you're doing. Ban the obvious hackers and not the innocent players. So let's just jump into the Battlefield Time. Let me show you my build. Very, very standard in my eyes. This is a new build we should be using pretty often when it comes to Jinnu. If we look at his artifact sets really quick, you can see I'm running the Obsidian set. Oh baby, yes, that's right. With the Obsidian set, we get a 60% damage increase, but you have to remember, you always have to remain above 40% mana, otherwise your damage increase will be removed, which is not ideal. So make sure anytime there's downtime in the battle, make sure to constantly use your basic attacks, core attacks, etc. That way your mana gets built up. If you don't do that, you'll lose this effect right here, which is obviously not ideal. Now, there are other options you can use. You can also use the Verticin set if you find the skills you choose to run need a lot more cooldown reduction. Up to you. You do lose a lot of damage, of course, but it is an option. I tried it, but the damage loss wasn't too good for me. Based on the skills I have to Legendary and Heroic, so I did run the Obsidian set. For most of you, Obsidian will be the way to go. This 60% bonus here is just crazy. And for the armor pieces, you have two choices as well. And I just realized my hunters are out of whack. I don't know why that happened, but I'll change them, don't worry. But for Jinnu's armor pieces, you can run Curse and also Toughness. Those both work phenomenally. It's up to you what you want. You have to remember, the weapon we use for this game mode, the Demon King's daggers, already have built-in crit and crit damage, so it's not getting the best benefit from Toughness, which we normally do like to use a lot. So I would recommend trying both and see what works best for your build and your run, but they're honestly both good choices. And when it comes to our hunters, no, we didn't use Thomas Andre. I don't know why he's included there, or any of these other hunters here, but we use Malin, we use Min, and we use, where is she? My beautiful, beautiful Isla. There we go. These are the best hunters for this run for me. You can swap in other hunters, of course, but these are some of the best buffers we have, so fantastic damage gains. These are the artifact sets we ran on them: Blessing on Malin, Guardian on Min, and the Self's Blessing on both hunters. That way we get the bonus being applied, which is phenomenal for these runs. The elemental damage increase on the 200% right here, as you can see. The 200% increase when it comes to Battlefield Time is a huge must. And also we ran the Noble Sacrifice set to get an 8% attack increase, helping out Jinnu, pumping out our damage. So these sets are honestly very standard for basically every single BOT we do, either now or in the future. Unless something changes, this is what you'll be using every single time, based on the hunters you choose, of course. Though Soul Analysis does play in if you do need to use Break, but when it comes to our shadows, we did use Blades because we already have enough crit with the DKD. The attack bonus here helps out a ton. So Igris isn't used this time, but Igris is very good for those runs where our weapons don't have built-in crit. We use Serbia as well, getting more damage in from the passive right here, 5%, and we use Kaisel because they're literally the strongest shadow we have, 600%, 700%, 800%, and what else here, 600%, so yeah, overall a very strong shadow that will give you some nice damage gains. Now when it comes to our Blessing Stones, I mean we went all damage for this run, and I also chose Reawakening because I did want the cooldown reduction. That's just me though. You might honestly be better off using something like Bloodlust, getting defense reduction in, meaning you can one-shot the boss at the end, you'll see. I don't actually one-shot the boss, but having the cooldown reduction does help out a bit, but you'll see. Up to you which one to use, try both. They can be very helpful. And of course, for a ton of attack we went the Mana Rampage, 16% attack, and also one of the best Blessing Stones we have, Double-Edged Sword, another 16% attack increase once it stacks up, very, very strong. And for our last Blessing Stone, we always use Weakness Detection, one of the best Blessing Stones in the game, when you are trying to deal the elemental type damage, so make sure you use it, otherwise your damage will take a big hit, which is not ideal. And for the defensive Blessing Stones, I just go Life, because the shield, we gain damage from it if you run the Guardian set, and I run Kasaka Seal Scales, up to you which one to run here. Doesn't really matter, at least not for me. I haven't seen much of a difference, try whatever you want, but the only one that really matters for me is Life. That one does help out a lot, and when it comes to our skills, there are various options you can use, but this is what I use. I use Vertical Arts, the Crosshairs version, the Fire Elemental Damage one. You'll see how good it is because on the first phase, it does wipe off half the map basically, very, very helpful, and I use this skill right here, the Commander's Touch Liberation, very good for BOT. You can use it twice spamming it, and you get an attack increase too, so overall, a pretty darn good skill. And these are my cores, just copy them. Your Hunter cores don't matter, but your Jinnu cores do matter a lot. Just copy these. These are the best ones I use for them. It'll give you the best result, trust me, and make sure the Jinnu icon does match up that way. You get these passives right here. The stats up here don't matter, but the core passives do, so make sure you use the right ones, otherwise, yeah, the attack bonus won't be applied. And I think that covers everything. When it comes to hunters, I mean, you can swap in other buffers, or you can swap out one of these hunters here, one of our buffers, for someone that deals damage potentially. I mean, since it's wind, the only wind hunter we have is Mirai. You can pump her on to probably clear some of the mobs, will be helpful. And for our weapons, DKD is honestly very helpful, but you can use the Demon King's Longsword too. This weapon is very strong, don't get me wrong, so if the DKD is not an option, this is one of your go-tos as well. And of course, you know for a fact you need Plum. Every single game mode of Jinnu, you have to have Plum equipped. One of the best weapons in the game, probably the best weapon period, because the universal buffer buffs our skills, our weapon damage, basically anything that deals damage, Plum can buff it. But let me show you the run, that way you know exactly what to do. So let's do the replay on 0.5% speed. I'll try to sum up for you, and it's a recording, so I can pause it and talk. So here we go. When we start out, first thing you want to do, if you're running a DKD, is to use a skill. You can gain some distance, which is very good, and also you want the second effect to apply. You'll use it on the mobs right here in the corner. After these mobs are cleared, and after the middle ones are cleared too, you use the second DKD skill to clear those mobs up here, and then you transition to your QT, which I forgot to cover, so let me just cut back really quick. Make sure you're running this QT right here, Thunderstorm, it will help out, it'll clear the mobs, easy peasy, you'll see. I actually do love this QT skill, made this run much easier. So as I was saying, use a skill and start dashing forward. You want to go towards the middle right over here, and you also want to use one of your hunters. In this case I use Min, but you can use any of your hunters here. I would prefer it if you use a hunter with the Blessing set, that way you get the biggest bonus possible. But as you can see, I'm going to run right over here in the middle. And once I do, I'm going to target all the mobs right here using vertical arts. This will clear all of them, you'll see. And boom, all of them do fall down and get cleared. Next up, these mobs spawn right next to you. So you want to use your liberation skill. This should clear all the mobs in one shot, and once that happens, you want to use the skill you've been saving, that being your DKD, aka your Demon King's Daggers. Once you use it, the mobs should die, but this mob right here is fairly stubborn, so make sure to start using your basic attacks. And I'm just going to pause that right here so you can see this mob right here, very stubborn. So make sure you use your basic attacks, and also it's good because you build up your mana really quick. You can see 559. I'm going to use our basic attacks right here, and lots of mana gained. The mob does die too. And here is where you want to use your QTE. There should be 2 mobs right here, which we're going to strike down for our lightning, oh baby, or thunder, I guess in this case. And then once the mobs do spawn right here, you want to use your liberation. Literally just walk up to them, smack down the floor, and that's it. Now, once you do that, you want to start basic attacking again to build up your mana. Watch this, 716, basic attack, build up that mana because your obsidian set needs mana. Otherwise, yeah, the damage is not being applied, and oh, she's so hot. But anyways, we're gonna wreck her right here. What you want to do is very simple. You obviously want to shadow step her, but how do you do that? You have to wait for an attack. No. Wait for the bow to load up and then use your shadows, and then immediately use shadow step. So when you use your shadows, you saw there, your shadow step does get up, and then you want to activate it while also using your hunters to gain the damage bonuses. So easy peasy, use shadow step and then dash to get the bonus off from Plum, and then use your DKD skill, your Demon King's Daggers, and boom. Now I do want to go back and pause really quick to say she should have died with DKD at A10 and the skill level 10, but probably bad RNG on the crits, or one of our passives or buffs didn't stack, but that's okay. If that happens to you, which it will, I'm assuming for most of you, you can see 20%. If that happens, just spam your skills, that's all you can really do. So here I just spam our liberation skill, use vertical arts, use whatever I can that pops up, whatever my keyboard lets me, and boom, done. Overall, a pretty decent run, nothing too fancy. Everyone should be able to do this with okay, like mid difficulty, depending on your runes. The runes will play a huge part in this. Like vertical arts for me was a heroic, but it doesn't mean the run's not going to work. Just take a few seconds longer, save the system, and you will get a good time in BOT. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and support us on Netmarble's free supporter program. It helps the channel and it means a lot to me, so thank you so much. On that note, this is your Code King Zaf, signing out.